This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big update to share with you when it comes to stimulus. $800 payments this summer, $200 gas stimulus going out to millions, and SSI second surprise check of $841. Plus, there's a new $1,000 monthly universal basic income program, which I'll go over. I'll give you the latest on the student loan forgiveness, how Kirsten Sinema almost walked out of a meeting for the Build Back Better, and how President Putin has cancer and is going under surgery. And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So, Putin to undergo cancer surgery, transfer power to ex-FSB chief, according to a report. So I think this was a leaked document from inside the Kremlin, which is a double whammy because not only is he going under surgery, but now it's confirmed that he has cancer and surgery, which may explain the erratic behavior that he's had in Ukraine as well as everything else. So this is just a rumor, though. This isn't confirmed. It's not like the Russian news has said this publicly. So really interesting there. And supermarkets are limiting the amount of cooking oil people can buy as the Ukrainian war leads to shortages and surging prices. This is in the US. So supermarket chains say the Ukraine war is causing soaring prices of cooking oil. UK supermarket Tesco is limiting sunflower oil purchases, and UK Food Standards Agency warned in March that sunflower oil supplies could run out soon. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Indonesia, the world's biggest palm oil supplier, imposed a partial export ban this week on the key cooking oil ingredient because they're running out of oil as well. Greek supermarket has a 3-bottle limit. So yeah, it's getting crazy around the world when it comes to food shortages. And war in Ukraine having catastrophic effect on global food supply prices, USAID administrator says. So, saying that it is just another catastrophic effect of Putin's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, and that the global food and fertilizer shortages impacting prices for consumers and farmers around the world. So we're just seeing this, I think just the tip of the iceberg of how bad it's going to get in terms of prices and shortages, because usually at the end of the spring, fall or summer, there's a harvest season, and if that harvest is not made, then there's going to be an even bigger shortage coming up soon. So food prices have risen 34% compared to this time last year, and in terms of food prices, they're still rising and will stay high for some time, top retailer warns. So unfortunately, it's not going to get better anytime soon. Just want to give it to you straight up. And then Kirsten Sinema nearly walked out on Biden last year during heated exchange over his economic agenda, according to a book. So kind of figure that. Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema on the same page almost walked out on Biden last year in tense exchange over Build Back Better. Arizona Democrat was angry with Biden for disclosing her spending demands in a White House meeting. And do you want me to leave, she asked, according to a book from two-time New York Times reporters. Well, we could tell that didn't go anywhere because now there is no Build Back Better and still getting bashed by Joe Manchin, despite a lot of Democrats saying this is their second try that they're going to pass it, or at least some parts of it. At this point, we haven't seen any of that. And is there another stimulus check coming soon? Push for payments up to $360 continues. So what's going on with this is smaller companies accounting for roughly 70% of the domestic production will be exempt, so oil giants like ExxonMobil and Chevron cannot simply gouge consumers further without the threat of losing markets, according to lawmakers. So this is a gas stimulus that is still in the works. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, so it could be potentially $300, could be $200. It all depends on the price of gas and the price of oil. This is just a bill that is being stalled in Congress at the moment. And stimulus update, average Americans received 4.9% more money from the IRS this year. So basically, from their 2021 taxes, there was more stimulus that people could claim, and they claimed that. And so, yeah, that's why it was 4.9% higher if you filed your taxes. And there will be $800 payments this summer. So what this is talking about is Colorado. So Colorado is giving out stimulus checks. In addition to stimulus payments, universal pre-K will be starting for residents going on in Colorado. So $400 checks for individuals and $800 checks for couples going on in Colorado. And then in terms of universal basic income, some Americans can apply for $1,000 monthly checks this week. Do you qualify? So in Baltimore, under Baltimore Young Family Success, 200 young parents are going to get $1,000 monthly payments for a total of 24 months. So that's $24,000 over 2 years. Have to be between the age of 18 and 24, and a few other things involving being a parent. Also, Social Security Supplemental Income Payment Schedule 2022, second surprise double check worth $841 sent out. So if you are on Social Security, not so much of a surprise. So the first April checks should have arrived April 1st, and the second for the month were due on April 29th. And the payment schedule was impacted the 1st of May. Because it was a Sunday, and when that happens, usually they're issued the Friday before. So $841, that's the new max for the new COLA in terms of SSI. So if you're already getting that, this really isn't anything new. And then gas stimulus, $200 stimulus payments may go to millions for gas. So this is going on in California, a new potential $200 check. So this proposal would spend $8 billion on gas stimulus cash rebates for families making $250,000 or less. $200 would go to each taxpayer and $200 more for each dependent. The gas tax hike is still set to go into effect in July 2022. So it seems like California just has so much money. They're just coming up with all different types of stimulus checks. And then the White House eyes income cap on student loan forgiveness, has not studied how it may impact inflation. So take a look at this video clip right here. So it's framing this from the perspectives of Democrats, sort of showing the Republican perspective, as well as a few other things. But yeah, just take a look at this video clip right here.
This asinine, I want to pay off student debt, is an insult to the senior citizens, to the people who pay taxes, to people who decide, do I want to buy meat this week or pay for my medicine? That's hogwash. You got so many jobs, you got a great economy, let them work and pay off their bills just the way all of us do.
Well, that's certainly rich, coming from someone whose judicial campaign owed $600,000 in unpaid bills for more than a decade, but okay. Jeanine Pirro is unfortunately not the only person on the right with a bad take on student loans, as President Biden considers forgiving some student debt. Laura Ingraham tweeted, "My mom worked as a waitress until she was 73 to help pay for our college, even help with loan repayment. Loan forgiveness, just another insult to those who play by the rules." Now, I will note that back in the 80s, before she became a Fox News star, Laura, who graduated from the Ivy League Dartmouth College in 1985, then University of Virginia Law School in 1991, worked for a top New York law firm as a speechwriter in the Reagan administration and as a clerk for Justice Clarence Thomas. Way to look out for your mom while still letting her pay off your student loans by slinging hash as a waitress into her 70s instead of just picking up the tab for her, Laura. But you know what? I feel like Laura actually did us a huge favor by explaining modern conservatism in a nutshell perfectly. Just put the working class on the wheel, even if they're family, while the affluent and the rich eat. And while they may be cruel, Republicans aren't dumb. They know that if President Biden and Democrats actually do something about student debt, it could activate young and progressive voters who overwhelmingly prefer Democrats when they vote. And so they have introduced a bill to try to block Biden from doing just that. But what about voters in the middle who say, hey, I paid off my loan, so other people should be able to do it as well? Well, see, that argument is usually presented without a lot of context. Take this report from Georgetown, which points out that today, 2 out of 3 jobs require an education beyond a high school diploma. While in the 1970s, 3 out of 4 jobs required a high school diploma or less. So a college degree is not a luxury. It's a necessity for most people who want to earn decent wages. It is a literal ladder into the middle class. But the price of college has skyrocketed. From 1980 to 2019, the cost increased by 169%. That is not a typo. While worker pay for those aged 22 to 27 years of age has increased by just 19%. That is the mismatch, y'all. You need the degree, but the degree puts you into so much debt you still can't get ahead. And that means that your contributions to the economy are also limited. That is how we've gotten to a world where 43 million Americans collectively owe $1.7 trillion in student debt. That is a number that is only going to keep rising. With me now, Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. And Senator, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. And, I will note that, I graduated, I had a lot of scholarships. I graduated with about $15,000 worth of debt. From Harvard in 1991. But the whole cost of a Harvard education back then was like $22,000 a year.
Yep.
Our kids, my husband and I, our kids, each of their educations cost double that. So do you understand the sort of moral hazard argument that people make when they say, why can't you pay it off? It took me like a decade to do it. Why should people not get their debt paid off?
So let's start on this question about who it is who's carrying that student loan debt. It's not Harvard graduates. I appreciate that you had some, but the reality is more than 99% of the people who are carrying student loan debt are not graduating from Ivy League colleges. In fact, 40% of the people who have student loan debt do not have a college diploma. Think about that. These are people who, God bless them, they tried, right? But life happened. Pregnancy, they were trying to work 3 jobs. Their mom got sick. The family had to move to another town. Whatever it was, they weren't able to make it through to a diploma. So now look at the position they're in. Because they weren't born into a family that could pay for it, but they tried. They now earn what a high school grad earns, but they're trying to manage college-level debt, and it is crushing their bones. So I see this as a moment when we just have to kind of decide what kind of a country do we want to be? What is it that we think we do to build a future? And I heard Laura Ingraham say, the answer is make them work till they're 73. And look,
Unreal.
That is right now, in effect, the official position of the United States government. In fact, did you know that tens of thousands of people who are living on Social Security have had their Social Security checks garnished to pay for student loan debt? And sometimes it's their own because, mid-career they went back, tried to get a diploma. A lot of times, though, it's because they guaranteed a debt for a beloved child or a beloved grandchild. Now, we could decide as a nation, just keep grinding on those people as hard as you can, squeeze every last nickel out of them, and watch them get deeper and deeper into debt because you hit them with penalty fees and raised interest rates if they stumble and can't make it. Or we can decide as a nation that we actually are all better off if people try to get an education. Those who succeed, it helps them individually, but it helps all of us. And look, that's not a novel idea. When I went to college, I graduated from the University of Houston when it cost $50 a semester, 50. And the reason that I could graduate from a college that could be paid for on a part-time waitressing job was because American taxpayers invested. And they said, kid, if you're going to get out there and try, we're going to support you and help make that happen. Because that's what we want people to do. We want them to try to get an education. We don't want to just grind up their bones when they try and can't manage the debt.
What are your thoughts on that? Should there be student loan forgiveness? In my opinion, if there's going to be student loan forgiveness, President Biden should also follow up on his other promise of an additional $200 monthly payments for all Social Security recipients. Since that was a big part of his campaign, if he's going to go for student loan forgiveness, he should go for that additional Social Security check as well. Let me know your thoughts on that. That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing when you feel sad, you have to do something that you really want to make you feel better or make you feel true. Or you can also, if you help somebody, then you'll feel even better or something. Or if something's really into you and you're really feeling good, you should do that as well. Bye, this is Bella. This was the tip of the day.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your time and support. So it's been a few nice days here. Been getting some lawn stuff done, playing a little pickleball here and there. Actually, I'm going to go play after this video a little bit. And hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to see any of my latest videos, my other channels, you could click up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for watching.